You're watching ChillyBoy Productions. I'm Larry ChillyBoy Chilson, and this is my review for Jurassic World Dominion. Before we get into this review, make sure to go ahead and click that subscribe button down below so that you can chill with me on each and every one of my latest videos. Jurassic World Dominion is a 2022 science fiction action film, once again directed by Colin Trevorrow, starring Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt. Following the events of Fallen Kingdom, mankind must learn to coexist with dinosaurs after the destruction of Isla Nublar. But new problems arise as these two species, who were never meant to coexist, must now live amongst each other. Now, of course, you know me. You know I had to get this popcorn bucket. We got blue, that big old blue eye on one side, and the Jurassic World logo here. It's this vibrant, beautiful blue on the inside, and it's humongous. It's literally like dino sized. It's so freaking big. Needless to say, I love it. So, if you watched my recent video giving my top 5 favorite dinosaur movies, you'll know I said in that video, I actually haven't hated or really disliked any of the Jurassic Park films. I know that is an unpopular opinion, but I don't know, maybe I'm just a simp for dinosaurs because I have fun with the Jurassic Park, Jurassic World films for what they are. Yeah, they get messy. Nah, they're not all great, certainly. But for one reason or another, I have a good time watching each and every one of them for their own merit. And the Jurassic World Dominion trailers had me sold. I was very excited for this film because as a culture, I think we, much like the characters in these films, have a fascination with dinosaurs. So no matter if we're scorned and burned from a terrible Jurassic Park sequel, we have to admit, each time they release a new one, it's hard not to get sucked up into the hoopla, to get sucked up into the hype when a new film is coming out. And then, of course, the reviews came out, the Rotten Tomato score came out. I was hearing lots of negative stuff, but I've heard negative stuff about each and every one of these sequels. And as I just said, I have fun with them. So that didn't really affect me. Just kind of pushed all that to the side and was looking forward to experience Dominion for myself. And once again, yeah, it's really messy, but ultimately, I thought it was all right. I had a pretty fun time with Jurassic World Dominion, though I will say I do think this is my least favorite in the franchise. But let's go ahead and kick things off with the positives first. The dinosaurs. They're a lot of fun, as per usual, and I think they look pretty fantastic in this film. There are a lot of practical effect dinosaurs here in this film. We have a lot of puppetry, animatronic work going on here that harkens back to the original Jurassic Park. And they're adorable. These little baby triceratops are so cute here. But all of the animatronics look great. The CGI dinosaurs also look fantastic. When we get the dinosaurs in action, the film is at its heights. I also think our characters work well together. Now, what they have to do, different story. It's fun seeing the OG cast back in action, seeing that they haven't lost a step really, especially when it comes to the dynamic between them, and getting to see them interact with the new cast is also a lot of fun. Jeff Goldblum was the MVP for me. I thought he was by far the best character. He was just effortlessly funny and entertaining. Every time he was on screen, he just stole the show. We also had a new star in DeWanda Rise who looked amazing and had this fun edge to her. Sam Neill and Laura Dern were fun having them back on screen together. Their chemistry is off the charts. It was a good time watching them get back into this action. Bryce Dallas Howard is also a delight, though she and Chris Pratt, not as much chemistry. The original score was fantastic from Michael Giacchino, obviously mixing in and blending with that iconic theme from John Williams. And the idea here is really strong. The conflict at the heart of this Jurassic World series specifically is present once again. The dynamic between humans and trying to coexist. What do we do when we are the root that introduced these new species to the world? And ethically, how do we solve this issue? That's present here yet again. And it's a very interesting concept. And when that is the center of the story, I think that's when the script is really working best. But that is going to lead us into our negatives. And honestly, I think this film has a lot of the same negatives that Fallen Kingdom had. And that starts with that intriguing premise because it's just so underutilized. Much like Fallen Kingdom, the first act of this film is really strong. It had me hooked, it had me invested because we're really trying to delve into that moral dilemma, that ideology. It sets things up in a really fascinating manner and then does almost nothing with it. And by and large, the screenplay is the big negative here. The dialogue is really bad. It's actually quite cringe, pretty much from start to finish. DeWanda Wise does everything she can to make this character work, and it's purely from her talent that the character is fun to watch because all of these cliches that they have her spout are terrible. I literally was cringing at a lot of this dialogue. Plot itself is a convoluted mess. We are all over the place with these really thin, mustache twirling, stereotypical villains that really disrupts the overall tone of the film. You almost feel like you don't know what type of film you're supposed to be watching. It's not this beautiful blend of genres like the original Jurassic Park is when it comes to action and horror and sci-fi. Instead, it's like this weird Mission Impossible spy film meets action film that wants to be kind of horror-esque like the original, but can't accomplish any of it. And that's pretty similar to what the problems were in Fallen Kingdom. We settle in on this horrible human villain that is really unnecessary. The conflict of the story itself is a big enough conflict to explore. And then when you add in dinosaurs that are unpredictable, and if you treat them like the original Jurassic Park film did, or even really the entire original Jurassic Park trilogy treated them, you have that horror element. You have a physical villain, at least a physical problem to evade, while you're dealing with more deep moral dilemmas. Unfortunately, they settle in on the most shallow route possible. Honestly, through the second and part of the third act, it left my mind wandering. I thought we really slowed down. None of the emotional beats rang true or really worked, whether it be the romances that are tried to be pushed or this familial bond, this discovery of a backstory for one of our characters. None of it worked because the screenplay was so shallow that you couldn't really get invested. There's just not enough dinosaur action. That's the other problem. We deal with a lot of other things. We're back to, genetic engineering, blah, blah, blah. And we go through too long of spurts without dinosaurs in the mix. They're there as background dressing, but they're not the focal point. And that's what we're here to see, is dinosaur action. And ultimately, I think that's why it's probably my least favorite in the series, because there's just not enough dinosaurs to have fun with. It wants to be a more run-of-the-mill 2022 modern-day action film, a star vehicle for Chris Pratt, rather than a great dinosaur film. But particularly if you enjoyed Fallen Kingdom, I think you'll have fun with this film. If you enjoy the Jurassic Park movies, I think you'll have fun. If you're excited for Blue, well, Blue is actually definitely the MVP, the best new character for the Jurassic World set of the franchise. But much like the rest of the dinosaurs, she's just not in this film nearly enough, which is a shame because based on those trailers, I thought we were going to get a blue heavy story. There's a lot of scenes in those trailers that are not in this film. And that all comes down to, once again, the fact that the premise is not really the premise I think we were sold. Dinosaurs and humans coexisting and integrating into the same world. And yeah, it's too long, particularly for the story they decided to tell. It's probably about 20 minutes too long. So overall, Jurassic World Dominion is fun enough. If you're just looking for kind of an action film with some dinosaurs thrown in, this is a fun film. It services that need. If you enjoy the Jurassic Park movies, I think you will enjoy this one as well. Or if you honestly just enjoy like a good action flick, I think this one fits the bill well enough. However, if you're hoping for a more nuanced script, if you're hoping for anything more deep, any sort of emotional connection, well, Jurassic World Dominion certainly fails at delivering that. So that's it. That's my review for Jurassic World Dominion. Certainly far from great, but I still had a fun enough time with it. If you liked my review, hit that like button down below and subscribe to the channel so that you are always up to date on all of my latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Have you seen Jurassic World Dominion? If you have, let me know your thoughts, either in the comment section down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your continued support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.